And I was just sent a picture from somebody that wants to be there very badly. He's been very respectful of me and of our country, but not so respectful of others. But he'll, I'm going to sign this for him, but I was sent one, and I thought you'd all like to see it. That's a man named Vladimir Putin, who I believe will be coming, depending on what happens. He may be coming, and he may not, depending on what happens. We have a lot of things happening over the next couple of weeks. But I thought it was a nice picture of him. Okay.
So that was a visibly unhinged and vaguely coherent Donald Trump during a disastrous Oval Office presser, brandishing a treasured photograph of him and Vladimir Putin, talking about autographing it and inviting him to the United States, perhaps for the FIFA final draw, which is what this press conference is supposed to be about. And it, in addition to the weird Putin love, it also turned into a threat to deploy the military against U.S. citizens. And then he weighs in on the shock and ominous FBI raid at the home of John Bolton. He bitches about Governor Gavin Newsom. Folks, this is just a total mess, and we have 3.5 years left to go. But before we unpack all that, if you end up liking this video and you want to support the channel, please be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and alert bells before you go. Yeah, Donald Trump is so many terrible things. He's an authoritarian, I would argue a fascist. He's a moron of the highest order. He's deeply incurious, profoundly corrupt, by far the most corrupt president in American history. And he's also in a state of cognitive decline, and all these things make for a really dangerous combination when they are in the body of the most powerful man in the world. It's a really bad combination. So we're going to play some of this clips from this disastrous presser, starting with this one in which Trump is bitching about Governor Newsom, who has clearly triggered him.
The governor's incompetent. You know, Gavin, I know Gavin very well. He's an incompetent guy with a good line of bullshit, and he doesn't get the job done.
So again, as you know, we've been covering it extensively. Governor Newsom has continued to troll and mock and belittle Donald Trump, as he should, because Trump deserves it. And apparently that's the way politics is played these days. And Trump finally snapped the other day after trying to be quiet about it. And he won't shut up about Newsom ever since, just because Newsom continues to get under his skin with the constant trolling. Here's another clip.
And I have a question about the search of Ambassador Bolton's home. The vice president recently just did an interview saying that it's about classified documents, but that there's also broad concern about him. What are the concerns?
Well, I haven't spoken to Pam in the group yet, but I will be. I saw that just like everybody else. I try and stay out of that stuff. I'm allowed to be, and I'm chief law enforcement officer, believe it or not. You know, I don't like to go around saying that, but I am. That's the position. But I purposely don't want to really get involved in it. I'm not a fan of John Bolton. I thought he was a sleazebag, actually. And he suffers major Trump derangement syndrome, but so do a lot of people, and they're not being affected by anything we do.
Actually, unfortunately, pretty much everybody in this country is being impacted by the things you do, and mostly in a negative way. Trump again doubles down on this idea that because he's the chief executive, he should be able to personally direct prosecutions of his political opponents. He says he didn't do it in this instance, but that he could do it because he's chief law enforcement officer. And again, gives no critical context for what's going on with John Bolton, his former national security advisor, who he has repeatedly publicly attacked since 2020. Talking about, you know, how terrible Bolton is, and again, threatening Bolton in so many ways. That's why so many people, including, which I don't know if it has come out at the time of this video, it may come out later, but even Fox News panels are calling Trump out for this. Like, this sure seems like the weaponization of the Justice Department against your political opponents, the very sort of thing that you claim was done to you, but Trump has also repeatedly threatened to do it to others. He campaigned on that in 2016, he campaigned on it in 2020, he campaigned on it in 2024. It's inexcusable. It's disqualifying. It makes Trump objectively the worst president in American history, but it's not exactly surprising. Okay, now let's go back to the second clip in which, again, Trump he's brandishing his beloved photograph of his equally beloved Vladimir Putin.
So that was very nice that it was sent to me. Okay.
Mr. President,
yes.
on that subject, have you talked to Vladimir Putin about the fact that yesterday a big U.S. factory was hit in a Russian airstrike in Ukraine? What's your reaction to that?
I told him I'm not happy about it, and I'm not happy about anything having to do with that war. I said I settled 7 wars, and actually, if you think about pre-wars, add 3 more, so it would be 10. I thought this would be in the middle of the pack in terms of difficulty. No, I'm not happy about anything about that war. Nothing. Not happy at all.
You said you would end that war in 24 hours. You failed spectacularly. And as the reporter points out, U.S. interests have been devastated by Putin's war on Ukraine. And you're still just like brandishing this photograph and speaking of him like he's like an ex-boyfriend. Like it's so weird and gross and unpatriotic and un-American and classic Trump, because at the end of the day, he so identifies with strongmen and authoritarian that he can't hold anything against them.
Anywhere on earth. So, I really am honored that the National Guard has done such an incredible job working with the police. And we haven't had to bring in the regular military, which we're willing to do. We have to. And after we do this, we'll go to another location and we'll make it safe also. We're going to make our country very safe. We're going to make our cities very, very safe. Chicago's a mess. You have an incompetent mayor, grossly incompetent. And we'll straighten that one out probably next. That'll be our next one after this.
So Trump is threatening to deploy the D.C. National Guard and perhaps the actual military in Chicago. Again, waging war on blue cities and blue states.
And it won't even be tough. And the people in Chicago, Mr. Vice President, are screaming for us to come. They're wearing red hats, just like this one. But they're wearing red hats. African-American ladies, beautiful ladies, are saying, please, President Trump, come to Chicago. Please. I did great with the black vote, as you know, and they want something to happen. So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York, and we're going to help with...
Like, what do you even say? Like, in his pudding brain, he just thinks Chicago, black people. That's it. That's his only frame of reference. No object permanence there. He just, Chicago, black people. Like, folks, this is the sitting president of the United States. And again, doing what we expected he would do when he deployed the National Guard in Los Angeles over the objections of California's governor, Gavin Newsom, and local leaders, municipal leaders. He's doing it in D.C., what he considers to be a liberal hellscape, and now he's threatening to do it to Chicago, another blue city in a blue state. Again, this is an exclusive war on blue cities and blue states. That's it. There are other cities in this country that have a higher per capita crime rate. There are red states which are infested with crime. Trump doesn't give a damn because they vote for him and he doesn't want to intimidate them. It's all about trying to wage a war of intimidation on blue cities and blue states, as people predicted.
So I think Chicago will be our next, and then we'll help with New York, and we're going to help with. And I think a lot of these people that you see on television, they are, including the people in this audience, they'll say bad things about me, and then they'll say, "Thank God he's here," because half of them got mugged, and they don't want to get mugged again. But they work for they work for stupid people that are radical left. And they're made to do things and say things that they don't want to be saying. But the people...
He thinks everybody secretly loves him. They just don't, man. They just don't, because you're an authoritarian. You don't know how much of it is just his inveterate pathological lying, or if he has worked himself into a delusion where he thinks, oh, no, I really am perfect and everybody does love me, except like 5 people. Like, there's just no telling, because with Trump, his lies just really do sometimes come off like comical delusions. Either way, though, if it's the dishonesty or the fundamental break from reality, he's clearly unqualified to be president, but he's going to be president for another 3.5 years.
As you rightly say, with security and beautifying cities and the whole country, we want people to come and enjoy and have fun, and that's why this is not just the most iconic trophy in the world of sport, but we start on the 10th of September the sale of tickets for the FIFA World Cup. And we have the first ticket here for the final.
Good. Oh. Wow.
For you.
Oh, good. That's cool. Wow.
It's, of course, row 1, seed 1. It's ticket number 45, 47. And it's for the final in New York, New Jersey.
this is like, again, he's treated like, this is like how people treat Joffrey in Game of Thrones, the sadistic boy king. This is like cartoon level shit. You know, this guy, the FIFA president, is like, I have to bullshit this fucking moron because he's so childlike and yet so incredibly dangerous. I have to like hold up something shiny and gold and talk about how great he is in order for him to not unleash his fascism on me and things I care about. This is a disaster. It's an indictment of the presidency under Donald Trump. It's an indictment of the country under Trump's leadership. And again, we have 3.5 years to go. But he's complaining about Gavin Newsom. He's, again, flirting with, whether or not he can personally direct the prosecution of people he doesn't like. He's, again, declaring that he will send in the National Guard and potentially the regular military into blue cities and blue states. Folks, this is a 5-alarm fire, and we need to wake up. In the meantime, let me know what you think in the comments.